Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a short version podcast talking all things Pittsburgh sports. Today is Monday, October 28th, and it's a Monday night football in Pittsburgh. Steelers hosting the Giants at Acrisure Stadium. Cannot wait for that one. I will certainly be heading there. Busy day for yours truly, as I will be going up to Cranberry for Penguins practice and Minnesota Wild practice. Actually, Marc-Andre Fleury in town, and then we'll be heading over to the North Shore for some football. Can't wait for that. Going to talk a lot about that matchup as well as what's going on with the Penguins. Not a great Western Canadian road trip, as you've undoubtedly read about, and going to wrap up a little college football action. Penn State with an interesting one. We got to Pitt on Friday, but going to talk about the Nittany Lions a little bit. But first, want to remind you that we are brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. If you're injured in an accident, you're probably wondering what's next. For over 40 years, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped injury victims answer that question. Whether it's gathering evidence, collecting medical records, or dealing with insurance companies, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped over 75,000 people handle what's next. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com for a free consultation. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. All right, so what should we watch for tonight with Steelers-Giants? A bunch of stuff, really. Maybe the overarching point is Russell Wilson. And if he's able to sustain what he did last week, I think 264 through the air, made George Pickens a verifiable threat that we really thought was going to be that way for much of the season. I'm looking for even more out of that. I mean, the Steelers should be able to take care of the Giants. And I know that's a scary, scary sentiment with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin's teams. And every once in a while you have a letdown, and this is the NFL, this, that, and the other, right? I mean, we saw it on Sunday. We saw it on Sunday, a great afternoon of football, by the way. Maybe I'm burying the lead, but the Browns win over the Ravens 29-24. Loved that one. Jameis Winston taking over for Deshaun Watson. He looked fantastic. Doing the Steelers a solid by taking care of the Ravens, at least for a week. And then the Eagles did the same, beating the Bengals. So the Steelers are in very good position in the AFC North. And, well, they're going to need to take care of a team that has kind of been wounded, right? Curious to see how they handle Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones can bounce back, was not good in his last time out. He was pulled, I do believe. He's going to be back in there, but yeah, it was not good. They're wide receivers. If you're going to look at one position that they kind of had something there, I'm going to go there. Again, do I think it's enough to upset the Steelers' apple cart? No. But Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton are probably their two biggest playmakers on offense. Brian, in his sort of walk around, had Joey Porter Jr. Focusing on Malik Neighbors. That would make a lot of sense. Darius Slayton, we'll see, whether that's Dante Jackson or more of a zone defense. But the Steelers' defense should be up to the task. One number that kind of jumped out to me too: Mike Tomlin, 20-3 on Monday nights, 10-0 on Monday nights at home. I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that good. Offensively, Dexter Lawrence, probably their number one weapon, right? The giant defensive tackle, 9 sacks, leads the NFL. It's going to fall a lot on Ryan McCollum. Obviously, the guards, Mason McCormick and Isaac Seumalo as well, but he can wreck games, certainly 3 multi-sack performances this season. So somebody they're going to want to take care of. But, if we look at this and what should happen on paper, what we think the Giants are, what the Giants should be, the Steelers should be able to take care of business. A couple columns that you should check out. I wrote about Van Jefferson dating back to our interview with him on Friday. I was down at the facility and talked to some people about Van. Honestly, when he scored the touchdown against the Jets and ran to the middle of the field, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, Van Jefferson is not a showboating type, that the organized celebration type. And we found out later it was actually to try to, he was going to hand the ball to his dad or throw it over there or something, some fun celebration they orchestrated. His dad's a wide receivers coach for the Jets, was not able to find his dad, so just kind of gave it up. But I guess the moral of the story, or kind of what I'm hoping, I'm sure what other people will hope this turns into, is Van Jefferson becoming more of a part of the passing offense. Russell Wilson kind of talked last week about spreading the ball around, wanting to do that. And it'd be great if they could get Cooper Kupp. It would have been great if they could have gotten Devontae Adams, even though he's been marginally productive. Brandon Ayuk, when that was a thing. We're talking about the process, not necessarily the results, but we've been looking at them to get a second wide receiver. Could it be Van Jefferson? I don't know. It does make me think a little bit differently about the wide receivers with Russell Wilson under center. Like, can they get complementary guys the ball? I hope so, because they need it. They need to spread it out. But, and if they don't, the trade deadline rolls around November 5th. So it's going to happen soon anyway. All right, we're going to take a break. Going to be back on the other side, talk a little Penguins, little Penn State. Thank you for watching First 10, and a message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Welcome back to First 10. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. We're here in the middle of the morning, Monday through Friday, talking all things Pittsburgh sports. I mentioned columns before the break, and I was referencing my Van Jefferson column, but as well, I thought Ray Fittipaldo had an excellent story on the Steelers' late finishes. Yes, they've been a slow starting group. They've also finished extremely well. Their work in the second half has been notable. They've allowed just 4 touchdowns after halftime. They're also scoring basically 15 points per game after halftime. Only the Ravens are scoring more. So Ray worked through some different things, some different splits in the first half, second half. So give that a look. The Western Canadian road trip for the Penguins. Oh, it was a rough one, huh? They lost 4-3 to the Canucks on Saturday. You know that. And Matt Venzel did a story that I think you should check out, that 10 numbers through the first 10 games, and a lot of them aren't pretty, which we understand and expect. They've given up a league-high 31 goals, 5-on-5. They've only scored 21 themselves. That is one of the numbers that Matt cites, 10.8 inner slot shots per game, 5 losses with blown leads, including 3 on the Western Canadian trip, 15 5-on-5 goals with Erik Karlsson on the ice, goalies with just an .886 save percentage. That sort of frames the conversation for me around what the Penguins are doing. Again, goals against, abysmal. You can't be 30th. You can't give up 31 goals in 10 games 5-on-5. You have to, that has to be your baseline. For anybody who's maybe uninitiated to hockey, it's sort of like your base defense. You have to be good 5-on-5. Special teams play, you're going to derive momentum and other things from that. They have not been good 5-on-5. Why have they not been good 5-on-5? They're allowing too many grade A scoring chances, and that's also bleeding over into the power play, or penalty kill, I should say, but the opposing team's power play, inner slot shots. We keep citing that. Why do we keep citing that? We keep citing that because it comes right in front of the net. Players unchecked, unmarked, just having golden opportunities, and they're cashing them in. Another thing the Penguins talked about early this season, playing smart, playing with a lead, having numbers back, making smart decisions with the puck, not losing track of people in the defensive zone. They've done the opposite of all of those things. They've not done a good job playing with a lead, and the results have shown that. It's just not responsible hockey. 5 losses with blown leads in 10 games. That's hard to do. Erik Karlsson, I don't know what's going on. He missed most of the preseason with an injury. I don't know if this is him rounding into form. I don't know if he's still hurt. But if you have an injury and you're too slow, if you just, I don't know, can't skate, you're afraid of contact, whatever, I get that. A lot of the flaws have been in his decision making. Like that should not be an injury. I don't know what's going on there. I don't really know what you can do. It's just a really tough spot for the Penguins to be in because he has been bad. He has been very bad. I mean, you could say healthy scratch him, trade him, whatever. I mean, what's that going to do? Like, you're still paying a lot of money, so he's a very expensive healthy scratch. You're going to trade him? Who's going to take that contract and that play? That doesn't make sense. So they're kind of stuck there until they get that figured out. Speaking of stuck, the other takeaway, the last part framing that conversation for me is Kristen Jarry. I don't understand what they did taking him to Western Canada so then you could fly him back alone to Pittsburgh and then so you could send him to Wilkes-Barre on a conditioning stint. They're not going to say this. It certainly seems like something happened. And I don't know if that was like, Jari not happy with the situation, the Penguins realizing this isn't going to work out, this is awkward. I don't think it would be an injury. It is just odd to fly a guy from Pittsburgh to, I guess they kept them, Winnipeg and Alberta. What was the first leg of that? Calgary. He never got to Edmonton. And so at Calgary, you bring him back after the Calgary game, somewhere around. It's just odd where he could have stayed home, had the individual time the entire time, and it's not really a threat to play. But in any case, that's neither here nor there. They need to have it figured out, right? He started Saturday, stopped 32 of 34. I guess that's encouraging in the AHL. He's going to play there for a little bit. He can be on the conditioning stint for 2 weeks. Penguins need to get this solved. I don't know if there's another way around it. It's just, it has not been what you would like. The collective save percentage, and I got Joel Blomqvist on Friday against Edmonton, wasn't terrible, but still, the goaltending has not been up to snuff thus far for the Penguins. All right, we're out of time. Was not able to get to Penn State. I will do that tomorrow on the back half of probably some Steelers talk, but a good win for the Nittany Lions nonetheless, 28-13. And an interesting thing going on with the quarterback situation that I'm curious how that leads into Ohio State this weekend, a game that I'll be there for and really looking forward to. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get a whole bunch of content in this space. Be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching First 10.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.